Hey travelers, Mag and I here on day 140 of our trip around the United States. After having a relatively slow day yesterday, being able to take our time hiking the trails in pursuit of the Tennessee State Star, we are ready to get back on the road and hit our miles again today. We have 250 miles to cover as we work our way out of eastern Tennessee and begin to geocache around central Tennessee. We're basically going to hit the top end of the state and then loop back around toward the south again, because tomorrow we're going to finish that loop before we hit the interstate toward Nashville. Today's schedule doesn't have too many miles, and it has a pretty decent list of targets as well. We have several waterfalls to check out, and we have some natural bridges too. Unfortunately, the conditions here in Tennessee have been quite dry, and while that was fantastic to give us easy access out to DeLorme Page 71 on the far eastern tip of the state, it hasn't proven very beneficial for the waterfalls. So although we have several waterfalls on the list today, I would not get my hopes up on them being anything spectacular. Really, if they've got more than a trickle running, I'm gonna be happy, because that's pretty much all I expect to see out of any of them. Either way, I think it's gonna be a good day, and I'm ready to get back on with some miles after yesterday. So let's go see what the trails have to offer. Come on, let's go.
Our first stop this morning is the Middle Fork Falls, named for the middle fork of the Little Emery River, but it's running kind of dry.
Can't say I'm surprised after the last few waterfalls we saw coming into Tennessee. I half expected this to be dried up when we came out here, but I can actually still picture the plunge right off this waterfall into that pool below. It's a neat spot.
What was even neater was this large geocache that we found not too far away. Not all who wander are lost, words that many geocachers live by. This definitely looks like it would be a cozy travel bug hotel for your trackables to enjoy a nice stay. Not quite ready to give up on waterfalls yet, we made our way over to the parking area for Potter Falls and walked down the trail. Coming around the edge of the rocks, I could hear the water falling. I think we're going to be in luck this time around. While clearly just a fraction of what this would be capable of in the summertime, I was happy to see these falls in action nevertheless.
A very pleasant surprise. There's a much greater flow here than I would have anticipated.
On our way through Wartburg, the county seat of Morgan County, we stopped by the courthouse to have a look at the local Veterans Memorial. But this time around, it was the quote above the sheriff's office door that really grabbed my attention. It doesn't pay to do wrong, except this sign is doing it all wrong. But don't worry, about 10 feet away, they tried it again and they got it right this time.
Once again, we find ourselves at the state line, this time right back at the edge of Kentucky. I had not intended to come this far to the border of the state, but there were only 3 options in this page. One of them's archived, one of them has been missing for a while now. Guess we gotta settle for the state line. It is what it is.
On the way through the Big South Fork National River and Recreation Area, we had to stop off at the East Rim Overlook. From this observation platform several hundred feet up, you can see the Big South Fork River cutting its way through the gorge below. What a view from up here on the heights. Not too far down the highway from there, we visited the first of 2 natural bridges. The primary lesson of the Earthcache is to teach you about the difference between a natural arch and a natural bridge. In essence, all natural bridges are natural arches, but not all natural arches are natural bridges. For a natural arch to be considered a natural bridge, it must meet at least one of the following criteria. A current of water was a major factor in its formation, or water continues to flow through the opening. It has been used by man at some point as a bridge to support a portion of a road, or it has the general appearance of a man-made bridge, flat with a level top over an arched opening. Until today, I had always thought natural arches and natural bridges were actually the same thing. And for the most part, they are, but understanding if it meets one of those criterion helps to understand which one it is.
Make that 2 operational payphones. Yes! Now this one, it's probably remaining operational because it's so protected. You got the little locking mechanism here, then you open the latch. But this phone, oh, it works. The sweet sound of success.
After using our Phone-a-Friend card, we made our way further into Pickett State Park to visit the Pickett Lake Natural Bridge. While the first one we had visited was a guessing game as to whether it was an arch or a bridge, there was no question here. Not only was the current of water still making its way through the natural bridge, but it prevented us from coming down through the arch. I was just happy that we were able to get a good angle from the top to be able to appreciate the beauty of this marvelous natural feature. While front yard caches make many of us nervous, front gate caches are a little more palatable when you can't even see the house from the geocache. A nice and easy find without any awkward explanations. And while this one was also at a house, I don't think anybody's home right now.
It was a rock house.
Man oh man, with all of those earth caches complete, we are now rocking our way through the finds here, one after the other.
Stop right there. It's time for us to go find another geocache. Right here.
On our way through Overton County, we stopped by the county seat of Livingston with a population of just under 4,000. Spread around 3 of the 4 corners of the courthouse are rather unique veterans memorials. I love the prominent placement of these because this courthouse is located in the middle of a very busy town square. No matter what direction somebody is passing by the courthouse, they are sure to see at least one of these veterans memorials on their way. From there, the pace of the day oscillated between beautiful views and fun cache finds. We would get to watch the mountains pass by or a river flow underneath, and then we would go find another geocache. Some of these geocache hunts can be quite difficult, but if you stick around long enough, you might just find the prize that you seek.
It's not just a geocache. It's a geocache on a stick.
Little treasures like this are not really unique to this part of Tennessee. You can find little hidden gems all over the state. One of many reasons why this is a place I would seriously consider living in the distant future. Now let's see if we can't rock our way through just a few more finds before the night comes to a close. Although I don't believe this camouflage tape is doing anything to hide the container, it's still a little bit better than the white PVC pipe. It's just a good thing that this one is hidden way out in the country instead of the city, because in the city, this is exactly the kind of geocache the bomb squad would love to explode.
Of the great many tools in my geocaching bag, there are none that see nearly as much use as tweezers. These are helpful for all sorts of things. Between getting logbooks out of small containers, thorns out of your fingers, or geocaches that would be otherwise unretrievable for those of us with fat fingers.
It seems like quite a few of the finds for the last part of our day are located in rock walls along cutouts of the highway. I guess we found our flavor, though a bit late in the day. And now that we've got the prize in hand, let's crack it open and see what's inside. Not that I have any intention of trading, but it's always nice to have a look. And this ground zero really got me scratching my head.
I'm trying to figure out what exactly it is happened here. So somebody climbed up there and they illegally painted a mule on the rocks. At least that's what I'm assuming. So then they went and posted a no trespassing sign. Like it's going to be a normal occurrence where people are trespass on that. I mean, I like rock climbing, but I don't think so.
Light for the day quickly began to fade away as we reached Jim Cummings Park.
Alrighty, and that's gonna do it for another day of geocaching on the road out here in Tennessee. Aichan and I had a pretty good day today. We started off the morning with a couple of waterfalls. One of them was actually flowing. And we got to see a couple of natural arch bridges as well. We really couldn't ask for more. By the time we finished that, Aichan went right back into nap mode. She was still exhausted from all that hiking we did on the State Star yesterday, and it showed. She passed out hard when we finished those earth caches, and she didn't wake up until almost an hour ago. Tomorrow has the same amount of miles as we had today, but it is a target-rich day. We are going to need every shred of daylight possible to make it through that day and see the things we want to see. So being able to finish up at a decent hour tonight is fantastic for us because it's going to put us in a good position to attack tomorrow head on. We hope you guys have enjoyed seeing the sights of Tennessee. I've always thought that this is just such a beautiful state. Can't wait to see what tomorrow has in store, as it's going to be our last day for a while covering significant miles in Tennessee. After that, we're going to be finishing the last leg into Nashville, and then we're going to have a break for a few days before we really get back on the road. Like this video, subscribe to stay tuned for daily updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.